we almost have it. We almost have it.
Objectively, the best Call of Duty zombie is Master and Tony.
Oh my god! Don't stop.
Pure hate has come out of my mouth while I've played this map.
Man, we're about to get fucking Dr. Monty again.
In the
terms of things.
episode.
Alright everybody, welcome back to Round Base Radio. We're on episode some shit by now, and it's going to be pretty good for us. Today we're going to have a little discussion here and there about the new map and things we thought about the past, and first we're going to start out with the viewer question.
That is right. So for everybody's information, Damon Carver is back once again for his viewer question of the week. He is very consistent. Love this guy. He goes and asks us this week, and feel free if you want to answer his question, answer it down in the comments. He says, my question for this week's episode is M14 or Olympia, but you have to play with them only for the whole game while being intoxicated. What a question, to say the least. Well, who wants to answer that one first?
I'll take the lead here because I'm the only one who's been drunky poos and missed a podcast. So
It's only appropriate.
I got to go with the Olympia all day long. I don't have to aim. So if I'm drunk, just fucking spray and pray. I get 2 shots. If you miss both the shots, hopefully you get speed cold and it's just like a flip. But yeah, I'm going Olympia. That's a good question though. It's a very good question. I like the question.
That is a good question. Drew, do you want to go next?
Very good. Very nice question.
If I got to be drunk while I do it, then I'm definitely taking the Olympia, and if I can go further, I'm going on town. I like to watch the zombies blow up, and if I'm going to be drunk, I'm at least listen and look at shit I like.
Damn, you guys both make very fair points, but me, when I hear M14 or Olympia, I think of Kino, and I'll be the oddball because I love the M14. I get it's fun with the Olympia, you don't have the ADS and stuff. But that M14, man, I love the M14. Such a classic. Tearing up the M14 Olympia. Yeah, that's like an ongoing thing in the community, right? Like there are actual people that like die on a hill for one of these weapons. Yeah, they're like gangs.
I'll
dude.
die on a hill with one of those weapons.
Fair enough.
I think that's all you can do with either of them.
I guess if I'm intoxicated, the Olympia would probably be better because, like Dalton said, you don't have to aim.
Yeah, it's easier. Closes
like
the
the
skill
look
gap.
and
No, I'm sticking with M14. I can't take myself to do that. Well, that was a very quick one, and that's all the questions we have for this week. So if you guys want to ask us any question down in the comments, please ask us down below. We are willing to answer almost any question. Thank you, Damon Carver, for that question this week. We can always count on you. We look forward to next week with whatever question you have this time. And yeah, let's just go ahead and jump straight into round 7. It has been 2 days since the release of The Reckoning on Black Ops 6 Zombies. We have all had the privilege and opportunity to play this map and actually beat one of the boss fights, that being the Sam boss fight. And completing the map in its entirety. Before we jump into the lore that we all wanted to talk about this week, I just thought we'd go ahead and give a quick review of The Reckoning, just our first initial thoughts before we actually end up posting a full review of The Reckoning and Black Ops 6 as a game in general. So, Drew, how would you like to start us off with like your quick review of The Reckoning and how it kind of sits there with the rest of the maps in Black Ops 6?
Looks and gameplay wise, I have to give it probably the best one by far. Beats out all of them. Citadel, Tomb, Shattered, nothing really touches it. I really like the Wonder Weapon, but I don't think it's as fun as the swords. They also don't take up a weapon slot. I mean, I still give it like an overall 8 out of 10 on initial gameplay and fun factor.
Okay. I
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
disagree with you
It's
on
not
that
bad.
one.
Yeah, I was gonna say that nothing really to pop back on that one. Yeah, I think it's the best map in Black Ops 6. My personal opinion. I do kind of stand with Drew on the Wonder Weapon. It's cool. It fits the map. It's good, but it's like it's nothing like crazy. Like it doesn't. If I could do the Easter egg without getting the Wonder Weapon, half the time I would. It's
Okay.
like it doesn't seem very. I mean, like you're getting like a horde of zombies, and I mean, like I had it pack 3 when we tried the Richthofen boss fight yesterday, which is fucking hell. But like, see, I love how they did that, where it's 2 different boss fights. You have one that's canon and it's a little bit easier, but then you have one that's a little bit harder. And I really enjoyed the Richthofen boss fight. I don't think they should nerf him or anything. I think they should stay,
Mm-hmm.
or they should keep him how he is. And you should have to try once or twice to like know all his moves, see how he moves, and like actually plan for it to beat it, because it is more rewarding. So I like how they did that. I wish the map was a little bit darker on the
Like,
inside. I wish they would
okay.
have set it like as soon as the sun goes down.
I agree. I think it
Like
should
that
have been
would,
at like night or like super cloudy, rainy at least.
yes, like dark. Not
Mhm.
as like not like Terminus though. Not like that dark, but like make it a little eerie, you know what I mean? Cuz I feel like the quantum computing, the one
Mhm.
with all the flowers and mushrooms and stuff, they have these huge strobe lights in there, like spotlights. I feel like it just kills the vibe. I feel like if you take those like 2 or 3 spotlights out of there, then that room would be sick. Keep it more like dark aether looking. You know what I mean? But it's almost, I don't know. It ain't
I
a bad map. It's good. Um I will say it didn't over exceed my expectations, but it didn't disappoint. So I would sit at like an 8.
Okay. So 2 8s in a row. Um I can agree with Dolan on that one with the whole darkness and atmosphere to it. Dude, I like when you said that, all I could think about was like obviously we could see the other towers, you know what I mean, from each tower, you know. How cool would it have been if it was at night and just those towers are lit up and you could see like little lights coming through like the spore, like the
Not totally
quantum
lit up.
room. Yeah, but I'm talking like through like you said the quantum. You saw like little
Mhm.
hints of purple orange because that
Yes.
room gives up a purple orange hue to it. And in the assembly area, it's a little bit more blue. And then
Yep.
in the Richthofen's office, it's obviously like very fiery and red. I think at night it would have looked phenomenal. I think it just gives more leeway to better lighting, better just atmosphere, like you said. But
Yeah. Cuz like when you're outside on a balcony, to me, like honestly what it feels like with the skybox, how it is, if I hate to say it, bro, but it feels like a Warzone map.
they all, not all of them, but most of them do. Like
Like when you're on a
they did
balcony,
Citadel
like
right.
I don't want to say it feels like a Warzone map. Like it doesn't feel like that, but like if you stand on the balcony and look at the skybox, it's almost as if I'm playing Warzone. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it.
I know what you mean. Like
Yeah,
it,
like it doesn't have that like super good atmosphere of like holy shit, I'm in a zombie apocalypse.
exactly. It doesn't have that like like not Terminus, but Citadel did it right because it was at during the day, but it was super dense and super foggy in the air, so it wasn't very bright, but it at the same time it wasn't dark, and that kind of gave like a creepy, eerie vibe to it. I think they could have done the same thing with this map. They could have done it like I know it takes place right after Shattered, which was damn near like probably like midday or whatever. I don't know when exactly it was. Dude, if it was like you said, like right at sunset, you know what I mean? And then or just
Mhm.
at night, especially like that boss fight up top would
On
have
the
looked
roof. That's what I was
sick.
thinking.
Yeah, it would have looked sick, especially
Mhm.
with like Sam's like purple, or like her purple
Well,
self just flying all over the place.
Yeah.
Purple laser shooting in the air. It just would have looked so cool up top there, with like a
Mhm.
big full moon in the background. Would have been cool, but I don't know. I don't know why they did that. I'm sure there's. I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if there is a reason or not, but I don't know what the reasons are for most of the stuff in this game. It's not a bad
Well, I mean,
game.
their world's not
No.
like mid-apocalypse. It's like a targeted attack by Sam, right? So it's not like the whole world's overran. She's
No.
like releasing pockets of zombies here and there to fuck with shit.
Yeah, but like that doesn't mean like they could.
It doesn't mean it can't be at nighttime.
Yeah, they can't. Or it could have been like a huge storm
Well,
rolled in. Like, dude,
I was
again, like if it was storming, like heavy thunder, lightning on that boss fight, and you had to like maybe you had to like maybe some like electric rods got hit by lightning up there. You had to use that to maybe injure Sam in some way, shape, or form. That could have been cool. That could
See,
have
I
been
mean,
pretty
yeah.
sick.
I feel like if it would have been stormy, it would have reminded us too much of Terminus.
That's fine.
I mean, not if it was ether storms. Like there was so much.
Oh, yeah,
see, it'd be
yeah.
different. Now we're cooking.
Now, like
Now
a
we're
purple,
cooking.
because they had those ether storms in Liberty Falls, those purple clouds with purple lightning. That would have been sick.
I was thinking of the DMZ thing, where it was the humongous fucking tornado and shit. Like, you could have been in the eye of that or something. Like you can have cool shit. Like it didn't have to feel like an apocalypse, but it didn't have like anything past zombies really.
I feel like atmosphere also plays into that like finale type feel. Like you're on the moon in BO1. That's crazy atmosphere. You're
The crazy
on
place, the ether.
Yes, Revelations where you're out in like space and like a pocket dimension or wherever you're at with all these different maps floating around. The atmosphere could have been insanely different. It could have been like you said. I think that purple storm would have been cool because like Sam's very much a purple color with her eye. You know what I mean? And that's very much color of the ether. Dark ether or whatever. I think that would have been. I think that's a huge missed opportunity. I think atmosphere would have probably made that map feel like a finale, like all chips are on the table type shit. But yeah, no. But like I said, we will get into like our full review of this map down the line. Going through everything because I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about too. I mean, I'll agree with Drew on the gameplay. The map felt like smooth. It flowed well. It played well. The ether teleporters, or not the teleporters, but the elevators, the anti-gravity launchers, everything just kind of like it just felt fluid. You know what I mean? Like you weren't stopping
gonna
so
lie, though.
much.
If I need to go like down a floor, I'm like, it's like, look, you got to do math. You're like, okay, I gotta. Sorry, Chad. I have like I'm dying. It's like you have to go up, over, down, or like over, up, down, down to get to certain floors.
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I got the hang of it pretty quick. I mean, I guess it depends on everybody. I got a hang of that layout pretty quick. That like, I only really use the ether teleporters if I had to go up. If I had to go down, I'm just jumping down. Because I mean, the Tower 1 only really has 4 floors. Tower 2 has only got 2, technically 3 if you want to count the teleporter room. And then obviously Tower 3 is a whole different story because it's the boss fight. But what else about the map? I think the only thing that really carried that map with the high stakes feel, the finale feel, was just the dialogue. I think that's the only thing that really carried the map in terms of like, this is a finale. Besides the boss fight, that felt very finale like. But I think it's probably one of the better maps in the game in terms of gameplay. But story wise, it's kind of iffy. I probably would play it more than Citadel, which is my favorite map in this game. So I give it a 7 or 8, like a 7.5 or 8. I'd say 7.5. That's where I'd put it right now. But
excuse me.
but yeah, definitely had some room to improve. But like Dalton said, it didn't over exceed my expectations, but it didn't under exceed it as well. Like it's a good middle ground. Like I didn't really expect much, honestly, but they definitely did. They did pretty decent with the finale. Okay, so well, with that being said, we've got a few more topics today. Today we're gonna be focusing a lot about lore between the games and mainly about this one. And um we all love lore. If you're not a lore guy, I mean, you're in it just to play. But um with that being said, what I want to ask each of you is I'll ask you two questions. What could they have done better leading up to this point? And you don't have to include the Reckoning just yet, since we haven't really done a full review of that. Or you can include the Reckoning. Spoilers ahead, by the way, if you haven't played the Reckoning yet. Let's just go ahead and get that out there. What could they have
After
done?
we already talked about the map.
Yeah, well, you didn't talk about like the ending or anything like that. What could they have done better with the lore? We'll just start off with that, and I'll get into the second topic later. Who wants to kick us off?
Oh, it sucks. God damn. Honestly, dude, they should have just went a whole different direction with that bullshit. Had it been like a grand finale, but the Sentinel artifact broke during the fight or some shit, so nobody wins. Kind of settle it where whoever you sided with was happy with you, but nobody got their wish. Instead, it became a whole like, oh, dude, you either get fucked over or you got fucked over. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? But they're happy. Like, dude, what the fuck is that all about? And then the last cutscene, it was the opposite of what I wanted. I made it very clear. I didn't want to go back and see the original 4. I don't want to go and have a whole bunch of questions about stupid shit. I don't want it to leave with like a whole, oh, dude, anything can happen again. You got to get the next game now. My God, damn. It's starting to feel like comic books where it's a to be continued every time. And I just don't fucking like that. I think they should have just cut it off somewhere. Let everybody be sad again, because that's already what you did.
What do you think about like what could they have done there? Like if you had any points, like what could they have done better with this game specifically?
Like I said, I'd have just cut it off right there. Make it the Sin artifact breaks. No one has another way in or out of the ether. Cut all access. I know they gave Sam like fucking ancient tongue or whatever, where she can now like just manipulate the ether at will. But like, if she can already do that, the fuck does she need a Sin order? Like, just a lot of it doesn't make sense. I think they should have just cut their losses and been like, damn, nobody can fuck with it again. Look at that. Nothing's gonna happen now. Let's just drop that. Started like you already got multiple dimensions. Go to another dimension where other shit's going on again now. You're starting to make this one too tedious.
Fair enough. Okay, well, Dalton, what about yourself? What do you think they could have done with this game's with the lore in the game as a whole?
So, honestly, I didn't mind the crew. I would have liked to know more about the crew this game that we were playing with. Because it seemed like every piece of lore we got was about non-playable characters. Like a majority of it.
Yeah.
Why not make characters and then build on them? That's why we loved the original crew so much. Because they actually like built on each other. Like at first they were like funny. Like that's how Drew likes them. But then you started to favor one person or the crew like themselves and how they play off each other. And then you hop into like more lore stuff. I feel like this crew doesn't really work well together. They didn't make them work well together. It was just like, it was almost like a team. Like they were 4 individuals, all had different goals, kind of thing. Like just fucking survive. Because Terminus, you learn about like Maya's brother, but like other than that, like what the fuck else do we know about Maya?
Well, I will say that I don't know if you remember, but I think all the radios for the characters of our crew did come from Terminus. But that's really again all that we really got on the crew, despite the fact that they all want to get revenge on Ricktop, and besides Maya. She's just there
Yeah,
for the
it's
ride.
like, well, that or like build something where it's like you kind of learn, like you get radios throughout the maps, and it's like, in between fucking the tomb and Shattered Veil, how like fucking Carver's feeling. Like legitimately, he's like, man, we really chasing after this motherfucker Richtofen, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like just learn like kind of where they stand, or even, you know what I mean? Like have them like build character, like legitimately just build character,
I hate to cut. I
because
hate
it
to
seemed
go ahead.
good.
I was gonna say they did actually have that, but it was just for going from Citadel to the tomb. You can actually hear them in the like bird on the way to the tomb. Like I think Maya and Gray talked, like just initial conversations about what was going on, and then what Carver and Weaver thought currently what was going on.
Yeah, but and I mean, like I said, I'm not saying they never did it, but like they didn't
You wanted it
really take the
more.
opportunity. Yeah, like, and I'm not asking for like a freaking check-in in between every single map, but like, like build on like, like I said, families. Like, what's kind of going on in their head? Like, how are they feeling? What do they miss? Even more like backstory of before. Just shit. Like build character, make them likable, whether it be like humanizing them or fucking dehumanizing them and making them the fucking, you know, make them something. But I just feel like they're very just individual playable character. Like fucking do the skins have different? Like I know the four main characters do. Um, I always play as fucking Weaver because that's the only person I have a skin for. But if you have a different skin, do they have voice lines or no?
What do you mean? Oh,
Like if
like
I play as Beavis and Butthead,
they do,
and
but not towards the story. No.
yeah,
Yeah, not like story implications, but like, oh, I killed this zombie. Oh, there's undead, I think, and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't know because I've only played, like you said, I've only played as the main crew because I
yeah,
want to hear story implications. I don't care what some random fucking Warzone operator has to say about me playing in a fighting a fucking dinosaur. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
uh-huh.
So, okay, is that it? Anything else?
I mean, like I do like it. I wish they would have done that and continued this crew rather than bringing back the old crew, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like they just do this because I don't know. It's just kind of fucking grabbing some old people back, like bringing more people to the new game. That's what I feel like they were trying to do with this one, and I didn't really appreciate it. Like it's just I love the crew. Number one, you didn't kill them off right, and then now it's like you just want to bring them back every single game, and I'm like, hey man, we love them.
Let them die, like Drew says.
Let them die.
Like Drew says, just let them rest. Just let them just breathe. Like, just let them just rest in peace. I think it's okay to
Yeah.
bring back Richtofen. I think that was okay. Like, not the best, but I think it's all right because he's such a staple character. But I don't know. I think Cold War should have ended off where it was. I think that's just how it should have ended. I don't think they should have continued that. But okay. Well, in my personal opinion, what they could have done better with the lore in this game, I know I brought it up last episode. I think they should have made it to where audio logs don't have um prompts on them and you just can't easily find them. I think the whole idea that they're hard to find and they're hard to obtain and listen to back in the day made it more worth finding, essentially. Even if it was like just some very small storyline detail, like if it was a conversation between Groff and Schuster, you know what I mean? Or if it
Mm-hmm.
was Brock and Gary talking, whoever it might have been, I think um that's what they should have done. Documents I think are fine where you can shoot certain things and documents come out, or I think that's okay. I kind of like that. But radios I think should have been hidden, and some of those hard to reach places where like you find them 3 months down the line and it reveals some storyline detail where you're like, holy shit, that's actually kind of insane. Because I mean, that's still happening today with a lot of older maps. You'll find a radio and you'll be like, whoa, here's a like I'm not saying that there is, but like, what if there was a radio on Shadows of Evil that was found tomorrow and it had a conversation between the Mob of the Dead crew with Jackie Vincent, the cop in Shadows of Evil.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking insane to hear today. That would have been sick. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to find, and then you find it, brings life back to that map essentially and gets the community up and hyped up and going, and instead of like you find everything in one day and it's like, okay, well, there's nothing else to find.
Mhm.
They took the adventure and the looking and the hunting out of it, I think. I think they need to change that. Along with that, I think they need to bring back like smaller detailed stuff. Like, I don't want to know big story implications. I would like smaller things that just like aren't entirely important, but they're kind of cool to hear. Whether, like Dalton said, it'd be a conversation between the two characters, or maybe it's like an old audio log that was from Cold War with them talking about what happened in the past. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Mhm.
Maybe a radio with Sam and Weaver after they botched the hit on Richtofen in Shattered Veil. I think that would have been kind of. Oh, hold on, my microphone is falling off my desk. I think that would have been really neat. Fix my mic. Hold on. Technical difficulties over here on my side of the spectrum.
Yeah, I'm having medical difficulties over here.
And then I don't know what
I'm
Drew
perfectly
has.
fine.
Bird difficulties.
Yeah, Bird. And then what else do I have? So I got my own opinion on the lore. I think they have too many fucking characters in this game. I think when we keep picking up people from the map prior just to tag along for small audio things, it's just kind of annoying. I think Peck was okay to bring, but I don't want to hear Strauss and them talk all the time, or Ravenov talk all the time, and then Richtofen talk all the time. It's just too much going on. I think it's just like what?
Pretty sure Ravenov had like a voice line or something in this map, and I was like, he's fucking still with us. I forgot.
Even back at Citadel, you know what I mean? I mean, I can see why Peck came along because he wants revenge on Richtofen too, but he barely talked in this map. Like in the ending, like there were no words said amongst anybody. Like there were actually in the end cutscene until we got that reveal, there was no words said at all between anybody. It was just kind of like, what?
It was like, hey, go do that shit. Okay.
And that's it. Game over. Story will continue. Cool. Thanks. And then I think it's clustered in a bad way. I think the lore is like, I feel like Old Zombies was clustered in a certain way because obviously they were making it up as they go, and the community was making it up as they go too as well. But it just felt right back then. I don't know what it was, but this game I just feel like some things are just kind of clustered all over the place. So many unanswered questions. Too many unanswered questions. I don't even want to get into that because there are a lot of things. There's a lot of loopholes with this game. A ton. Just in Black Ops 6 itself, I know there's a ton within probably World of War through Black Ops 4, but this game's kind of some that just don't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like maybe the trailer where they see us parachuting into the map. That never happened. Or the Shadow Smiths being talked about. That never happened.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. What else is there that just doesn't make any fucking sense? A lot of things, but I just think they can tie certain things up with little radios. Like, why was you can't tell me the only reason Blanchard and Panos came to the towers just for a fucking upgrade quest. That's all the significance they had. I was really hoping to see something a little bit more, like a little bit of a bigger dynamic between the two. You know what I mean? Or like, because obviously, I guess Panos' friend he was talking about isn't Sam, obviously. It's somebody entirely different, by the way. It's not Sam who he was talking about that was helping him. It's someone else in the Dark Ether. We heard nothing of it, and he's probably dead in canon. I don't know what he is in canon. I don't know if he's alive or dead, but
It's a Shadow Man.
it's probably.
Well, it was just like his essence or some shit. that we
Yeah,
got.
like if you saw the ending of World or MWZ Zombies when Sam's daughter gets sucked into the mirror where the hotel she's at in Liberty Falls, it shows the Shattered Veil Mansion in the background and an outline of a character that looks just like the Shadow Man. So like, you know what I mean? That like where does that go? Does that go to Black Ops 7? You're telling me they were teasing Black Ops 7 back in MW3? It's just, I don't know. It's just kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know. All over the place.
I want to touch on something real quick. Like, between what both y'all said, with Dalton talking about how none of the characters really got built on, and you're talking about how there was no real, like, character interaction between each other. Honestly, that made a lot of sense. I hadn't even really thought about it till y'all were talking and saying those things, but my favorite area to be at was, like, right in front of the Forsaken, to, like, hear the random shit he would say as you were running past.
Mm-hmm.
That was by far the best part of that map.
He was fucking depressing in this map, dude. Holy crap.
He was
I mean,
hilarious.
He was trapped away for like, what, 5-6 years in that thing, being tortured by Sam?
Oh, boo fucking who.
Dual Dalton, did you hear the audio log where apparently Sam was like torturing him to give us the power ups and drops and to say fetch me their souls.
To speak Apothecant or
yeah, she was talking to the Forsaken and forcing him to do those things, so that way she could further manipulate us.
She was mimicking him, so she spoke in his voice at one point and spawned something. He went, "What are you doing?" She was like, "Don't worry about it." Like she was mimicking his voice. It was just her directly.
Yeah, I guess I heard that wrong, but either way, that's still pretty fucked up and crazy. Just shows
like
how much
scrambling his brain and shit.
Yeah, and then he dies by us.
What a sucker.
He had such a shit boss fight for what he was.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't just like him as like a Klaus. I wish they had like a health bar like Nathan.
I was gonna say if they would have made him like Nathan, that would have been pretty cool.
Like a mid-game cutscene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like story-wise, he's like an elder god. He got fucking put down in like round fucking 16, 17.
Nah, it was earlier than that.
It could be earlier, yeah. It could be earlier.
Yeah, we got him at like 11.
No,
I was rocking.
If you do the power surge, the Klaus spawns immediately.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
Dude, there's got to be a speedrunner that will do that, like initiate the power surge, go shock the Klaus, and get the Uber Klaus back to that platform.
100%. I mean, they're already doing speed runs. Like that map's going to be an easy speed run. I think
Freckelson has the world record right now.
Probably like within 30 minutes or less. If I'm a bet man.
That boss fight takes a second.
Well, people have been using a certain shotgun and it just shreds Sam's boss.
Oh, it's the Maelstrom.
Yeah. I think it was ass when they first came out. But they changed it, and it's a meta. I hate seeing meta loadouts in zombies. Cut that shit out. I see everybody doing that bullshit. I don't want to see meta loadouts. That's just fucking dumb. Not Warzone.
I think I said that last episode.
Yeah.
Either way, it just needs to stop. They didn't have meta loadouts back then.
No, I will say.
It was either you're going to get this gun or you didn't for the boss fight.
Not to get too off topic, but we were playing a lot of custom maps. We still play a lot of custom maps. We've been more focused on BO6 since the new map has come out. But I will say, like playing Mob and playing Call of the Dead and stuff like that, it is a lot harder and you have to be a lot more like tactical when you don't spawn in with a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You're not worried about you have to decide, am I going to be able to buy these 2 doors and do what I want to do? Or do I need to wait a round or two so I can get this gun and then start proceeding on? Or it's like, oh, do I want this gun, which is only going to last me 3 more rounds? or can I thug it out for one round with this pistol and then get a better wall weapon?
Yeah, you had to be strategic back then. You weren't just gonna get whatever gun you wanted at the start of the game, and that was it. There was thought that had to be made. You had to, like you said, play tactically, especially if we want to go into like the point system. Like you had to be strategic with your points. If you're going to do something, are you going to spend time of shooting them in the leg and lining them up to get more points, or are you just going to melee and just just truck through? You know what I mean? And yeah, no, it's just this game. Ever since loadouts, it's just not. I know, yeah, you can spawn in with a pistol, but I mean, even then, you could deck out your pistol, and then I don't know. It's just not what it should be. But
I miss point whoring. It
Me
made every
too.
weapon like had a purpose. Even if it was real
Mhm.
shit, you get a bunch of points off of it real quick and trade it back in.
I get the Vesper from BO3. That's fine. Line them up. I'm about to get a hell of amount of points. Not anymore. Okay, well, with that being said, we're talking about like what they've done wrong. I don't want to go into what they've done right. 'Cause I don't think it's a lot, but I want to ask. I guess I'll ask Dalton first. What is the best? What game had the best example for lore in general?
Mm,
If you can't think of something right now, we'll just go on to Drew because I know Drew already has
Um,
his answer.
I mean, it's gonna be the one I played the most, but I mean, like, I would say it has to be BO3. I mean, we still have unsolved ciphers like to this day.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I'm gonna say BO3. I like a lot of the side Easter eggs like fit the map. It wasn't like a silly little, shoot a random power up outside the map kind of thing, like to get the plunger on Der Eisendrache, like spider bait on Zetsubo. Um, there's something on that godforsaken map that I do not want to fucking name. I don't even give a fuck about it. Um, and then Revelations, all the cool stuff that you could do in Rev, um, with the mask and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
tons of cool radios and Revelations too.
yep.
Tons of radios. Talking like going back to like World at War with the original crew from Barucht, like John Banana, Tank Dempsey, and the other two Marines and stuff like that. Like stuff like that. Like that was cool. So Dalton says BO3. Drew, what is your best example for lore? Like what
As
game did it
much as I
best?
love, yeah, as much as I love the early games for like gameplay and strategy and shit, um, I go a little bit more to the mid, and I go BO2 probably has the best story building. First off, you have like the map, is you get to see the planet with all the magma and the after effect of the missile strikes from Moon.
Mhm.
You get to see where all your maps are located, like geographically. So if I want to go over to Buried, I see it's in South Africa. Plus, it tells me as I'm loading in like, South Africa, wherever I am. You have all the character interactions, like Russman. His whole purpose is just having amnesia, just so his ass can be like, "What are we doing?" And they'll be like, "Hey man, we're in fucking Asia right now. We got teleported here. We got to do some shit." You have Samuel, who's always getting like hidden things from Richtofen. If you get to play him, you always get to hear the little extra tidbits that he's whispering in your manic ass cannibal. Um, you get the radios that they have always telling you got everything that's going on between Flesh. You have Maxes and Flesh fighting all the time. People fighting for hordes. All your Easter eggs have some purpose to them. A lot of random ass steps in that too. You have non-returning shit. You got your denizens, which were a really cool thing that they slid in there. You got to see all the diagrams for them underneath Pack-a-Punch if you ever figure that shit out in transit. Um, you got your jumping jacks, which were something that they never brought back, but it's pretty much just a Nova crawler with a frog mixed into it or some shit. Like BO2 had it to where everything you learned about in that game, you could like tie it into something. You get your Pack-a-Punch lore finally, which is a long time coming. You get to learn about everybody and everything in it. Even if you go to Mob of the Dead, you can fucking do 30 minutes on everybody from Mob of the Dead, and they're only in that map. Like that game had it down to a fucking science. They finally figured it out, and I think that's the last time they did it perfect.
Okay. I agree with you on that. I do agree. I think BO2, even though I wish, and they probably, maybe they had plans for this until the whole, like, Xbox, PS3 can't handle what they wanted to do with like transit and stuff. I wish they would have expanded more on the Flesh and Broken Arrow, being as like those two were like pretty big, well-known, if you want to call them factions in the world at the time, like, because the Flesh was like the only real survivors, and yeah, Broken Arrow, I'm pretty sure they survived. Some people, like I'm a strong believer. I think I brought this up before, probably many times, but I think in town, instead of playing as CDC versus FBI, should have been Flesh versus Broken Arrow, and that would have been so much more fun with Grief, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. I think they could have capitalized on that a lot, but I do agree they did tie in a lot of cool things, and the whole Richtofen and Stuhlinger dynamic was cool, since you can only hear Richtofen if you're Stam, you know what I mean. I think that was cool. But for me though, I'm gonna go with Dalton and say BO3, because I felt like this is when Blundell really dove into it, and he loves his cryptic ciphers, radios, and small Easter eggs. I will give him that. Like, he does a great job. Like, for example, Shadows of Evil, Laundry Mat, or the Cleaner's Ticket with Sal DeLuca on it. Like, come on, that is, and it's not important, but it's a cool little detail to show you that like these two cities, well, that Sal DeLuca was there at some point. You know what I mean? Or even if it was just Icarus flying over after you open up Pack-a-Punch. And it also, if you get that, if you land a grenade perfectly on that ticket, you got that free 500 points. It's kind of cool. It's just something really simple and easy, especially seeing Icarus then in the Giant on top of the roof. Or being able to see Dr. Groff again in Der Eisendrache, or Sophia, Maxis's presumed lover, in Grok Rovi, and again, they introduced a lot of characters too, but they left those characters in that map to make that map again kind of like special and unique. These characters aren't going to follow you everywhere. So if you kind of want to go see, if you want to hear more about Sophia, go play Grok Rovi. If you want to see that Richtofen Groff dynamic, or since it's a different Richtofen, go to Grok Rovi. Stuff like that. I think just felt right, especially with the radios, and like Dalton said, the ciphers, voice lines, characters talking, and don't even get me started on the Giants intro cutscene. That is one of my favorite intro cutscenes to any zombies game ever. So I would have to say BO3. I think BO3 did a good job too as well, with expanding and answering a lot of questions and stuff like that. But really quick, because Drew brought this up earlier before we started recording, I liked it. And it's just kind of like just fresh on my mind. I said intro cutscene, right? I think every map should have an intro cutscene in some way, shape, or form, even if it's like Nocturne Toten's intro cutscene, where it's just like you're a down Marine and you just see a horde of zombies coming towards you as it fades to black. Like, that shit's badass. Or even like the Giants intro cutscene. But what Drew brought up earlier was we don't, like, we no longer get those comic book opening loading screens. You know what I mean? And I get it. That's probably more for like the older days instead of modern. But I'll let Drew kind of go off and talk about it, because I know he said like it showed a lot of story-wise details that I think are important. So, Drew, if you want to go and talk about that, if you can.
Yeah, like older days, like, damn, are you okay, buddy? We're gonna have to
No,
airdrop
I'm
you a
dying.
lozenge. We
All right,
I got
put a
some in
rip-
the truck.
F in chat for Dalton.
rip RIP. No, early day, like they didn't want to spend too much effort or like storage because they were still selling discs and shit. They didn't want to put like a whole cutscene in just for like every zombies map, which was understandable. But like, give me that little comic book. It had like some of them had like one big page was one massive piece on it, and it had a bunch of little detail, and the other one had like a split with 6 panels on each split, and it showed like a little adventure of your characters like getting to that map. It gave you like enough backstory of what happened before and what's going to happen that it made you already excited to like see how this is about to play out. Whereas now, like I hit it, and it drops me into a map, and it shows me that like real basic uh, front picture. It'll give me the like wherever I spawn in at, and then it has like my highest rounded shit on the right. I don't really care for none. I want to be excited to play rather than be like, oh, cool, this is what you've done well.
Okay. I mean, did you mean to mute, by the way?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay. Dalton, what do you think about that? Like with loading screens? Because I know, like now in Black Ops 6, and even in Cold War, all it did was just show like a spectator view of you panning through different areas of the map. What do you think? Do you miss the
Oh,
comic book style?
yeah. I mean, I don't think it should be like every map, but throw it in every once in a while. That'd be kind of cool. I also, excuse me, I had an idea where, um, like in BO3, it would track like the Easter eggs you've done. You know what I mean? So like it would know if you did the Easter egg or not.
Yeah, like
And
it was gate worms. Yeah.
yeah, so I think it'd be cool if you have a set loading screen for before you beat the Easter egg, and then after you beat the Easter egg, and it's a different loading screen. And then it could not always, but it could give a little insight to like maybe the next map or something where it's like, you know, I don't know, just something like that, something kind of cool.
Ooh, like what if
Um,
I know you said no comic book page, but what if it was a comic book page, right? You beat the Easter egg, and just like in the original where like some sections were torn off, after you beat the Easter egg, a section was torn off the page, and you could see something relating to that next map, whether it be like a zombie type or a wonder
yep,
weapon or a location. That's actually a good idea.
just kind of something like that. Because I mean, I will say, if you think about it, like just mostly loading screens in general, especially stuff nowadays, everybody wants that shit to start, bruh. Nobody wants that. I mean, some people want the intro cutscene and stuff like that. Yes, I understand that for the lore and all that. But a lot of people don't care. They want to get straight into the game. So I feel like that's why they don't focus on like specifically loading screens and stuff as much anymore.
I think
Not
they
so
Yep.
much intro cutscenes,
I
but
think they
loading screens.
do. I think it's just they stopped focusing on the cutscenes for this game because they're trying to get ready for Black Ops 7. Because they had cutscenes all the way up to Citadel, and they were like live action, like motion captured, like cutscenes, not in game intro cutscenes. They had thing they wanted to, but I think with Black Ops 7 coming up, they had to shift most of their attention towards Black Ops 7 to kind of get ready for that. And even if there's an intro cutscene, like I get people don't like what you said, most people might not want to watch it. That's why you have the skip option. People should be able just to skip it if they don't want to watch it. So,
Yeah.
but that and people's attention span nowadays are just so fucking short. You know, people anywhere are probably looking down at their phone anyway till the match starts. So, but Drew, what were you gonna say?
I mean, yeah, but if you're gonna have me stuck, like when you initially spawn in, it gives it a minute for thing to render, start to load, procedure. If you're just gonna have me stuck there for like 5 to 10 seconds anyway, give me that of a loading screen. That like old back in the day, you get the Kino loading screen. As soon as everything loads, it drops you in, and your character does like the little drop, and you're now ready to go. Like you're starting voice line from your character, you can now run around and shit. If you're gonna hold me up anyway, at least give me something to look at instead of just be like, you want to look at the rooftop of the gas station for a couple seconds? Cool. All right, here you go. Run around now. Have fun.
Which, by the way, I actually have that as a mouse pad. The Kino loading screen, I have that as a mouse pad.
Yeah, like it's something nice to look at.
It
not
is.
know.
It had a cool style to it, and I wish they kind of had
Yeah.
a comic book for all the loading screens. I wish that'd be kind of sick. I mean, I know they had a comic book at some point, but
I used to have the first edition.
I want you used to. Where'd it go?
Good question.
I stole
Oh.
that bit.
I
No,
want
I
one.
think it's lost.
Lost. It got sucked into the dark ether at some point. We gotta go find it. Okay, so we each kind of gave off our own opinions on the best kind of game for lore and what they kind of did right and what we liked about it. With that being said, I know we're gonna have like a whole Black Ops 7 talk, like especially specifically for zombies. But since we're what is it, August? We still have September, October, November. We're just a few months away from whatever we're about to get. Which, by the way, the reveal for Black Ops 7 is next week. By the way, it's in 10 days. Whatever we see, what do you guys want to see? Because obviously we'll be playing Black Ops 7. In terms of lore, what do you guys want to see for Black Ops 7? Like, do you want to see the zombie intel return where like once you find something, it goes into the main menu so you can constantly go back and look at it, read it, listen to it, or like what do you guys want to see?
They need to just give me like an ending. I'm tired of the back and forth. I don't want any more of that bullshit. I don't want to see the old characters return anymore. I don't want you to try to play on like classic ideas. I want you to give me something that ends this one and start afresh. I want this cycle to be done with. It's now just getting too jumbled. You're pulling on old things too much. Get rid of it.
The cycle continues.
Yeah, but like, damn. They've already ended it 4 times, bro. It's starting to feel like Fast and the Furious. They're just getting like crazier and crazier to keep it going.
Indeed. I feel the same way. Like, I just kind of want something new. Like, maybe this crew wasn't the best example, but I wish they would just kind of give us a crew and then, build off of that. It doesn't have to be a one game kind of thing. It could stretch across a game or 2 or maybe even 3, but just kind of give us something, build character. That's it.
Okay. So Drew wants a legit ending to where everything's like a whole new story after that point, nothing returning. Dalton wants more character development from the sounds of it. I think what they need to do is really just go back to the roots. Like, if you're going to make a story, if you're going to have lore implications, do it like it was done back in the day. Have those little radios. Have stuff like Peter McCain's arm at the asylum in the chair. When you hold it, you can hear Peter McCain scream, and then you see him the next game hanging. Like, that's just like, it's so simple, but it's so impactful because you're like, wait a minute. If we go back to Varuk, there was a hand on this fucking thing and we heard screams. So was Peter McCain there? Yes, he was. Holy crap. You know what I mean? And with that, radios too. Like, I know it's just kind of like we're just kind of rehashing old shit, but like I don't want to be able to walk into a room and find it sitting on a table in the center of the room immediately. I get it, casual player base, but like the casual player doesn't care about that kind of shit. If they want to get into it, they can go figure it out. They can go learn like we did back in the day. Dude, like, come on. Like, we did not, like, there'd be radios that we never knew existed to this day. I mean, you go back and you watch a learning the lore video by, what's his name? I forget his name. Drew, you know his name, don't you?
Hell no. I've been listening to all of them too. But
I
I couldn't tell you his
do.
name off top.
Hold on. I want to shout him out because his videos are awesome. That was all. Yes, his name is That Was Awesome. That Was Awesome. If you ever catch one of this video, love your learning lore videos. Go back. Drew goes back and watches them, and it kind of like refreshes us on a lot of things we don't remember. And it made me just realize how great like they did the lore back in the day. Like the projector in Kino. A lot of the little stuff that they just have in the game that just separates it, you know what I mean, from the casual player base. You know, like no casual player is going to find a bunch of these pieces of paper on the map, put them together to make a drawing in Mob of the Dead that was drawn by Weasel because he wanted to draw comic books. Like that stuff's like it's just crazy, and it's just so little, but like it makes that character a little bit more impactful in a way, and a little bit more like what's the word I'm looking for? Like relatable in a way. You know what I mean? Like they just need to really just stop putting everything in front of our face. Like I don't want to know it right away. Like let me go find it. Please. That's all I ask, is that like let us figure this shit out on our own. It makes it so much more impactful. So but yeah. Let's see. Any more closing? I got this. And I know it might be not vague, but like it might be a kind of a hard question. I'm gonna ask each of you a question real quick and just answer to the best of your ability.
Smash. Next question.
Dalton, what is your favorite piece of lore information? Whether it be the plane over Shadows of Evil, or a specific radio on a specific map, or maybe seeing like, you know, just something lore implicated that like you just enjoy so much. Like, do you have one? Do you have something like that you can always look back at and be like, yeah, that was cool to see or kind of find out?
I got 2.
Okay, I like it.
Jebediah shoving his mama in the Packy Punch machine. I think that one was pretty good. And then I will side on Drew with this one. I thought it was actually pretty cool to see Leroy and Dreisendrach.
Hell yeah. Just buried. Buried in the motherfucker.
Okay.
I think honestly, whenever you get down to shit like that, I also got to go with 2. One of them being just the story of the Weasel crew and betraying him, or him betraying them, however you want to put it, like him lying to them and then them murdering the fuck out of him on the roof. Hilarious storyline. And then whenever you get down to like watching the Victus crew like get abandoned, it's probably one of my favorite things. Them screaming at the sky, being like, yo, what the fuck are we supposed to do now? And then the voice never responds. I think that's hilarious. Both of them really grim. I don't know why that's always like my favorite shit to hear. But yeah, no, those 2 things right there hold true to me like every time.
Okay. Let's see. I think I know I brought it up already because it is like the most memorable one for me, and it is the Icarus plane flying over Shadows of Evil. Because when I played that map day one, and I mean like day one, I remember pack-a-punching and like going outside to see what happened and just seeing Icarus fly over, and I was like 15-year-old me was like, holy shit, mind fuck. Like, what was that? Like, I immediately tried to like tweet at NGT Zombies. I don't know why, but I tried to tweet at him with a picture. I was like, guys, look at this shit. Like, this looks sick, you know? Like, even though I know they were more like custom map, I think, if I was correct, guys, but I still think that was mind blowing to me. I love seeing that Icarus plane fly over, and then obviously seeing it in the Giant is like, dude, what the fuck? Like, is the crew you flying the plane through dimensions? Like, that's actually kind of badass, you know? Or I think like the Kino radio at the top of the radio tower, that's pretty sick. And then even seeing like Dr. Porter hanging in Doris, like that, like right there too, is like one of my favorites. You know, just kind of seeing him like in his office, the guy who, you know, well, in the story lore, you know, not made the ray gun, but you know, named after the Pack-a-Punch version of the ray gun or whatever. I think it's just so cool. It's just little details like that just make that add on to the map too, add on to the story, and really just make zombies in my own opinion. So
And real quick, shout out to Brock and Gary. Love those fuckers too.
God, yeah, dude. Listen, again, going back to that was awesome. he did, learning the lore, and he went through Shangri-La, dude. So sick. And what I come to find out, actually, fun fact, the same person who voices Rick or Nikolai, Fred, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. But whoever voices Nikolai, I know his first name's Fred. He voices Brock. You can tell because he sounds just like Maxis, and Maxis is voiced by also the guy that voices Nikolai. And then Gary was actually also voiced by Stephen Blum. It's just a high pitched Stephen Blum. It's crazy that they just had them like, hey, do you guys want to voice these two characters again? Yeah, sure, why not? You know what I mean? Just
them fucking around in the studio.
I know, they're just like, hey, so I want you to be this guy, I need you to be this guy. All right, cool, yeah, that sounds good. You know what I mean? Brock and Gary was an awesome, and their fate so bad, so terrible. But what are you gonna do, right?
I mean, not really. I mean, they're
stuck.
They're the first sign of a time loop.
Yeah, that is true. They are. They're stuck. They're stuck in a time loop, like everything else is. That's what zombies is. At the end of the day, zombies is no matter what should be a time loop. I think because you're always respawning and starting all over again, no matter what. It's always a time loop. I think that's makes the most amount of sense with zombies, in my personal opinion. So, I think that's why BO3 should have ended off where it was just an infinite loop. I think that's fine. Should have been. It just makes so much sense because you're always respawning, you're always starting over again, doing the Easter egg, going through the story. You know what I mean? So, but with that being said, does anybody have any closing thoughts, comments, anything you're looking forward to in the future, anything you guys want to say to the viewers, whatever it may be, please, go ahead.
I'm excited to see if there's a super Easter egg, and I'm excited to see what Black Ops 7 brings. I mean, it may not be what I want with the old crew, but if they execute it well, which I mean, I just don't know how they will, but if they execute it well, then I'll eat my words. Just kind of excited to see what the future brings, honestly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more gameplay. I love the zombies gameplay. Just turn off your brain and fuck around in something you're very comfortable with. But the lore is just getting like further and further down. It's getting to that area where SpongeBob had to start speaking in slang. Like, do you know where the story is? It's shit. You need to go ahead and either start anew or get like a whole new fucking writing crew. Get somebody else on that shit.
Okay. Let me just start off by saying thank you to all the people who support us to this day, especially the ones that are always coming back and watching our videos. You guys are the best. You guys make this meaningful. We always get excited. Honestly, I think if we could record twice a week and post 2 podcasts, maybe 3 a week, I'm sure we would, but we would just run out of ideas at some point. And we just want to kind of space things out. But thank you guys for that. Comment down below a question you guys have or any opinions you have on the final map. We will be posting a full review soon. Be on the lookout for next week episode or round 8. We've got a interesting guest coming along with us. I won't spoil who, but you'll find out when that episode comes around. Be on the lookout for more content throughout the week, custom zombies, boss fight attempts, all that fun jazz. If you guys have any suggestions, please leave them down below in the comments section. We appreciate all your guys' support, all the views, all the likes, comments. We love them. And with that being said, guys, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you guys want to keep coming back for more zombie podcasts. And we'll see you guys in round 8.